Carmel.
I'm trying to unmute myself. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
You can. Perfect. Thank you, Vernon. Welcome, everybody. We're really delighted that you can join us. This is a give or take 45-minute conversation, hopefully. This new series we've decided to set up is primarily so that we can get to know our community a little bit better and to give you an opportunity to get to know us a little bit better, particularly as we've been engaged in doing a lot of review and changes to our systems and policies, which you're going to hear about this morning, this afternoon, and this evening, depending on which part of the world you're watching or listening to us from. So just to say, I'm going to be covering, so if we could go to the first slide, I'm going to introduce the team and the agenda to you. So for those of you who have not met me before, my name is Dr. Carmel Clancy. I'm the director of the Center for Credentialing and Accreditation. Those of you who have been in the field or know about the ICAP will also recognize that we now are calling ourselves CCA, previously known as GCCC. So it's pretty much the same group, but we're now under ICUDDR, which is a whole new organization, having moved over from the Colombo plan sort of gradually since the beginning of last year and formally since the 1st of October. So we're really pleased to have this opportunity to either get to reacquaint ourselves with those of you who know about ICAP, and those of you who are new, very welcome, and we hope that we're going to get to know you even more as the months go on. So you're going to hear from me. So you can see two other lovely photos there. One is for Miss Ashley Becker. Ashley has been really with GCCC, Colombo Plan, has been on this journey for many, many years, and many of you who, as I say, are ICAP constituents will know Ashley from old. So I'm delighted Ashley's with us and continuing to stay with CCA, and she's going to be giving you some updates about the website and portal. And Mr. Sungjoo Park, you may not have met. He's relatively new, although he not new anymore, Sungjoo, I know, but relatively new to the system. He joined ICUDDR as an intern last summer, and then I'm very delighted to say that he's joined us as an employee since the autumn of last year, and he's been working directly with the CCA team and really adding huge amounts to what we're able to do. So Sungjoo is going to also be giving you a quick run through of where we've got to in terms of process and the journey really to getting yourself credentialed. So brief center updates really is that you've just heard we've made that seismic change from being under the Colombo plan and under their governance now to ICUDDR. I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time going through ICUDDR with you, primarily because we want this session to be about credentialing. But if you're interested to know more about the mothership, so to speak, or our parent group, then I direct you to the website, and maybe one of my colleagues will put that in the chat if you want to know more about what is ICUDDR and what is our mission. We are one center of 4, and so you'll learn lots and lots more about that. So in terms of other center updates, if we move forward to the next slide, if that's okay, just to give you a governance structure. There you can see that's the parent group that I was talking about, ICUDDR. We also have a board of directors, and we have an executive board also. Those are the 4 centers. So you can see we have a center for education, we have a center for research and fellowships, we have a center for systems change, and then of course the one which is particularly highlighted is the center we're talking about today, which is for credentialing and accreditation. And that is where you will find the suite of the ICAP credentials, which again, we're going to be focusing on in this discussion or conversation. And we also have just recently, so if we move forward, I think the next slide should show, no, I forgot, yes, we removed one, but we have just gone through a restructure with our commission. So in the previous slide, you will have seen we have an advisory group called the commission. We've just completely revamped that commission, and we now have an executive global commission. who were voted in and selected literally just in the last month. And we're having our inaugural meeting in the beginning of May. So watch this space. And I would say, if you're not familiar with the way we communicate to date, we do have a newsletter that goes out every month, and we do have a section for the center. So if you're really interested in following the key activities as they move forward and our initiatives, I would direct you to the newsletter that goes out. And if you're not already signed up and subscribing, that's something that you can do. It's free of charge, and that'll just pop into your inbox on a monthly basis. So just a couple of things about the centre, and you're going to hear much more detail, as I say, from Sungjoo and Ashley in a moment, but we are doing a couple of new initiatives. We are, if we just, upcoming activities. So we're doing some country profiles here, where all of our commissioners who have been working with us and are onboarding with us at the moment, they are doing a profile in each of their countries on what is happening around their workforce capacity, what is the current state of credentialing or qualifications to be working in the SUD sector. So we're just finalizing those individual country profiles. This is something that Sungjoo is currently doing, and we will be pulling that together and publishing. So watch that space. We're also doing testimonial videos. We're pulling together collective stories and observations and feedback from people who either have been engaged in undertaking the ICAP and working as an ICAP credential professional, or those who have employed ICAP professionals. So if you have any testimony that you would like to share with us, we're really keen to get as many diverse voices from across the globe. We'd be very happy to have a conversation with you about that. And Sungjoo would be more than happy to put his email, I'm sure, in the chat if you'd like to participate and send us a very short 2 to 3 minute account of how you believe the ICAP has been particularly influential in your career, or how it's added to your practice. And then I've just, as I've mentioned, talked about the new Global Commission meeting or commission group that has been now elected and selected, and they're going to meet at the beginning of May. This particular Global Commission group is representative of the 6 regions across the globe, and ultimately that commission is going to be guiding and supporting us in our work program for the next 12 months, which is quite ambitious, but hopefully we've got the right people guiding us. But ultimately the idea will be that this commission will be advocating and certainly trying to advance the credential, the ICAP credential, in each of the respective countries in their regions, and opening up the conversations for that. So if you'd like to know more, as I say, we're going to be doing a much more clearer expose on the Commission in the next newsletter in May, so keep an eye for that, and certainly check in on our website as we keep updating from that perspective as well. So I think is the next slide probably just about to move over, if I can. Yes, just very briefly, if you aren't aware, we obviously run exams throughout the year. This is the current schedule for the forthcoming exams in 2025. So exams have already been running in January, February, March. So we're showing you from April onwards. If you are residing in any of those countries and you would be interested in considering to take the ICAP exam, please reach out to us, and we can pick up that as part of the Q&A at the end of this session. So just to give you a flagging that these are the exams that are currently on the slate to be run. And all of these are in person, so pencil and paper, although we do offer a remote proctoring opportunity if these don't map to where you're living, or indeed you're unable to take a paper and pencil exam. So we do offer the remote proctoring offer certainly for treatment, not for prevention or recovery, but for treatment. So yes, thank you, Sungjoo, for that. So I think I'm going to hand over now to Ashley and to Sungjoo, who are going to, in effect, do a double act on giving you some updates around the website and portal updates and some examples of the new processes. So over to you guys. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, Carmel. So really quickly, I'll be going over the credentialing process and what's on the website, and then it'll be followed by Miss Ashley Becker, who will go over some updates that we have in this section. So the ICAP credentialing process. So if you're completely unfamiliar, we created this graphic or visual for you to be able to follow through. If you are familiar, you've probably taken some of these steps already. So first, you're going to join the ICEP Global Network. This will open up a few courses, free courses, for you to take to be able to meet our eligibility criteria. So that these will be courses on the Universal Treatment Curriculum, Universal Prevention Curriculum, or the Recovery Curriculum. You can also take any courses outside of these of the three that I had mentioned on the ISA Global Network. If you had any training or taken any certifications or courses through your work provider, your employer, or institutions, we'll take a review for those as well. So that leads into step two. You can take the courses to meet our eligibility criteria for the proposed credential. So you'll be able to see the eligibility criteria on our website. It's different for every exam. Um, then step three, you'll document your work experience for the proposed credential. So you can upload your resume or your CV, and we'll take a review and look at that. Step four, you'll submit your application, and from here, it'll go through a review process. So one of us will be reviewing your exam. If you pass, you can move on to step five. If you don't, you'll have to restart back at step two. One thing or a few things that a lot of people get caught up on is to remind you that the the training is valid for 5 years. So if it's had gone past 5 years, then you'll have to take the courses again, which are completely free online, as I mentioned, to be able to meet the eligibility criteria. So that's one of the big things that I've seen, or that we've seen, kind of catch people on the exam process. So step five, you'll take the exam. As Carmel mentioned earlier, there's an online remote proctored version, which allows for a lot of flexibility. So if you aren't able to travel to a certain testing center, you can take it at home, and you'll have a proctor watch you take the exam, and you can just do it in the comforts of your own home. The other option is the in-person exam. As we put up the schedule just a few slides ago, if there's an in-person exam coming up in your country, you can sit for that as well. There'll be a designated testing center or location where you can take the exam in person in paper and pencil if you prefer that method. Then step six, successful candidates, if you pass the exam, you pass the application process, you're all done, you're good to go, then you'll be issued a credential. And then you'll be placed into the live register. So this may be a new step for some of you. The live register is something that we'll mention in the next few slides. But this is huge and beneficial for employers and employees alike, since you'll be able to search up your own name to see if you're part of that register, to see how active your credential is, how much time you have left before it expires, so on and so forth. And we'll go over that more in detail in just a bit. And by step seven, you'll renew after 3 years. So the ICAP credentials are valid for 3 years. So that includes the ICAP 1, ICAP treatment 1 through 4, ICAP prevention, ICAP recovery support. We'll soon have ICAP nursing and a few others to follow. But each of those will be valid for 3 years. Then you'll renew and restart this process back to step two. This is another update that you'll see once you create an account, and as your ICAP gets closer to expiring, you'll get a renewal link that's unique to you that you can start the process all over again. And now I'll turn it over to Miss Ashley Becker.
All right, so mute. I am going to be sharing my screen. So you all should be able to see now the ICUDDR website. Can everyone see that? Great. So I'm directing you here because this is the main ICUDDR page, and from here you can get to anything. We're excited to be able to announce that we've now have a live register for credentialing, like Sungjoo mentioned. And you can get to that by navigating to here up in the banner, go to credentialing and accreditation, and you'll click on that, and this will take you to our center's page. Now, if you scroll down here, you'll have several different options based upon the process that Sungjoo discussed. But I'm going to take you specifically to where it says ICAP Live Register. So you click on that, this will take you to our live register. And what that does is that allows individuals to be able to check to see if their credential is active. And it also allows for employers to be able to also check to see if a credential is active. And this is a new feature and it ensures transparency and easy access to credential status. You'll be able to scroll down here and you can type in your name. We'll use Dr. Clancy as an example because she is an ICAP 3. So we'll just even type in her last name and then you'll be able to navigate to search. If you click on search, you'll be able to see her status. So now you see that Dr. Clancy is indeed credentialed. And she has an active credential. And if you need more additional details, you can click over here where it says view details. And then it gives you a little bit more information. It gives you her actual credential number, when the date the credential was awarded, and when it expires, and it tells you if it's active or not. Now, if you go to this live register and your information is not here, we recommend that you contact us and we will follow up with that and make sure that your up-to-date information is reflected here. So for renewals, take you back to the website, and from the main website you'll be able to see that we now have the ability for everyone to be able to apply for the renewal phase through our portal as well. So you'll be able to go to our credentials and certifications page, and you go down here, and in the accordion you'll be able to see it has our renewal requirements. So this just gives you a bit more detail about what we require when you reach that 3-year point. And it gives you very specific instructions and different guidance as well. And on each of those sections where we have requirements, we have different templates and guides to be able to give you a bit more information on exactly what we're looking for. So for this instance, when we ask for continuing education, we give you specific examples of what that continuing education would look like. And then also you are able to go back and track it on your own while you're getting up to the renewal process. So you click here, we'll have a fillable template for you to be able to click here and fill out the information. And it gives you instructions of, we require 40 hours of continuing education. We ask for the date and the method, the topic. So that you're collecting this information as you go along through the process, and you have it ready to go when you get ready to submit your application. And we walk you through what you'll need. You'll need continuing education. You'll be able to tell us about your work practice, your professional development. And each of these have a template for you to be able to track along the way. Now, to actually go in and see how to submit your renewal, you would go to the main portal page where you would go to apply for your normal application. Instead of just applying for your normal application, you'll be renewing. So that would mean you would already have an account set up with us. If you are an older historical credential, then you would already have an account set up for you on your behalf, and you would just reach out to us and we would be able to provide those login information for you. When you get to this page, you'll just go down to renew your credential, and you'll be able to type in your password and the email that you registered your account with. So when you get to this stage, you'll be able to see the same instructions that we had on the main webpage, and it's just reiterating that. It gives you a link back to the templates that you should have been keeping track of, and the instructions. And you'll just be able to click save and continue. And this will allow you to go through our code of ethics that we require every candidate to sign. And then when you're renewing, we require you to sign this as well as a way of refreshing you on what our expectations are for the code of ethics. You'll be able to click accept and continue. And then you'll move forward with loading the documents that we outlined before here. And you'll be able to click on each button and be able to fill it in based upon the tracking forms that you had along the way. And so that'll make applying even easier for you. And then when you go through and you add each of the documents, you should be able to then continue and then submit your application online. And once your application has been submitted online, we review that. And then if we approve it immediately, then you'll get the approval email from us and it'll tell you, it'll give you payment instructions. Currently, we are having a 50% off discount available for everyone who is renewing their credential and up until May. And so we're encouraging you, if you need to renew your credential, to please go ahead and do that. The system itself will also start to send you reminders if your credential is out of date as well. And so if you have any more questions about that, or you're concerned that your ICAP does need to be renewed, again, you can always reach out to us to that email address that Sungjoo has shared in the chat, the ccca_info@icddr.org. Thank you.
Yep. And I did just want to add that we're working on developing some how-to videos. So we'll walk you through this process, not just this renewal process, but also how to apply for the exam. So if you're more of an auditory learner, we'll have those videos available shortly, where you can watch it and walk through your application process the same way. Oops. There we are. So now we wanted to allot some of the remaining time to hear from you and to answer any questions that you may have, kind of like in office hours. So if you are a credentialed professional or you're interested and you have any questions that you'd like to direct to us directly rather than through email, or if you just want to have conversation, now is the time. We have some guiding questions, but we also have some polls available at the end. So we'll open the floor up to you all to start any discussion you may have.
Feel free to unmute yourselves if you have questions, or if you can't, you might also use the chat box and type your questions, and Ashley, Sungjoo, and Carmel will address it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Verna.
Can I ask my question now?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm Susan Getao from Kenya. I was
Hello, Susan.
accredited through Columbia. Thank you. Hi.
Hi.
I'm ICAP 3. I've done
Lovely.
3 exams. I did ICAP 1, I did ICAP 2, and ICAP 3. And I really wanted to go to ICAP 4. I'm an addiction professional and run an outpatient program here in Kenya, which is one of the first outpatient programs. In Kenya, we have a lot of inpatient programs. So I'm quite old in the profession. I started this work in the year 2000, so I have 25 years of experience.
Wonderful.
So I would really want to go to ICAP 4, but I have had the ICAP 3 for a long time. I was not able to renew through the time for COVID. I just sent my money to Colombo Plan, but they didn't renew it. It didn't come through that I had renewed at that time, although I have all the details. So I would really do, I do treatment and prevention. I do both in the outpatient program. When you look at our practice here in Kenya, as an outpatient, you do a lot of sensitization, you do a lot of prevention. I'm also trained in prevention and treatment. So I would rather do treatment this time because I think I'm very good with that. So how do I go ICAP 4, although I'm delayed? I think maybe I'm 4 years since the renewal. It's 4 years, not yet 5.
Okay.
4 years.
Excellent. So you have a couple of options really. If we possibly, and I mean, if you went now to the live register that Ashley was demonstrating, I suspect if we put in your name, it may just show that you are an ICAP credential, but your status is currently invalid because it's not active. Okay, because as you say, something happened obviously in terms of the handover with Colombo Plan. So I'm sorry that if you submitted to get renewed and nothing happened. This is why we're certainly trying to improve the processes and the system. So hopefully from what you've heard this morning or this afternoon for you, you will see that we're on a good road now, that we are able to track and able to engage with everybody. So in terms of your ICAP 3 status, you, as you say, fall within the period of time when we would be happy for us to look at your recredentialing as an ICAP 3 professional. That isn't a problem. You would go to the renewal portal. So Ashley can put the link in again. So in the chat, just to guide you as to where you would start, you would hit that button on renewal. We probably have your details. If we don't, then Ashley or Sungjoo would be happy to follow up with you individually, one-on-one, just to go through if you get stuck anywhere in the system. And then you would be able to go forward, just updating us as to what you've been doing regarding your CPD for the last 3 or 4 years that you've not been re-registered, and then we would get your in effect we get your account up to date, and so you're very welcome to do that. In the meantime, so that's something we would recommend you do anyway. So we know that your ICAP 3 status is live, and then you would get to see that probably rather quickly. Certainly in terms of the ICAP 3, if you started to put those paperwork together, really we're looking at a very short turnaround time to get you re-registered. So you would see that happening quite quickly. In terms of the ICAP 4, that really is about us then, you applying to take the ICAP 4 exam. You are eligible to do so because you're ICAP 3. So all we would ask you to do is, again, just get in touch with us individually. We can arrange for you to have a remote proctor because there isn't an exam coming up in Kenya, pencil and paper at the moment, where you could go along and take it in an examination center in person. So for an immediate response, if it's something you want to do sort of quite quickly, then I would be recommending that you approach us and we would get it set up for you to take it as a remote proctored exam with our group via NADAC criterion, who can set that up for you individually. So there's 2 things available to you immediately. One is get yourself re-credentialed and on the system, so at least you know you're active. It's a good deal at the moment. We're just charging people $25 to get themselves up to date. So hopefully that's within your budget. If you have challenges with that, we're happy to have conversations with individuals who may be struggling, because we know economically things are very tight around the world at the moment. So if you feel that you need to have a conversation with us about that, we're happy to do that, of course, one-on-one with individual candidates. But in the meantime, if all of that looks straightforward to you, all we'd ask you to do is to go onto the portal. You may already even have received an email from us advising you of this. So if you haven't, it may be that we don't have your current active email address. It could be that your registration earlier, given you are, as you say, you've been in the field a long time and you're one of the Colombo Plan type credentialed individuals, it may be that the email we have for you on the system is now out of date. So if you were happy to share that email with us now, Ashley and Sungjoo can certainly go back and check our records, and we can reach out to you to make sure that your renewal can be uninterrupted and facilitated. And for the ICAP 4, that's something for you to consider. We certainly can facilitate you taking a remote proctored exam, imminently if you wish. that would be your choice. If you're going to do it quickly, the only thing I would say is maybe you should wait to not renew as an ICAP 3, because if you take the ICAP 4 and you're successful, which it sounds like you should be, then you would be registered as an ICAP 4 credentialed individual as part of the process. So it may be that you might want to consider waiting till you've completed the ICAP 4 exam and then get yourself re-registered, but now as an ICAP 4. So those are your choices at the moment. Does that answer your query?
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Susan. We hope
I'm
that
trying to
you'll
get my
come back
number.
into the live register.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my number from my office, from the ICAP 3, because I can't remember the serial number, so that I can continue here.
Yeah, but
But I
don't
think I'd
don't
rather do
even if you wanted to I mean, Ashley or Sungjoo will give you their email. If you wanted to send your details, anything you have, just send it to us. We can look you up on the system, maybe to facilitate and make it easier for you.
Thank you. I've sent my email up. Thank you so much for today.
Not at all. Not at all. We're delighted that you're wanting to stay, and I hope you like the new feature of the live register. You'll be able to...
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Great. Well, we're hoping that people will see the value, because up to now, people could get the ICAP credential and then, they could just say, well, I'm an ICAP credentialed individuals, but not come back and renew. So now there's full transparency in the system. You won't be able to say you're ICAP credentialed unless you've renewed, or at least the employer or whoever can go in and check the live register. So we're really delighted with that new feature. We think it's going to make a big difference. It's a game changer, so to speak.
So while I'm actually on this call, on this webinar, I'm the chair of all rehab owners in Kenya. We are called APA. So I'm the current chair, and I'm feeling, because I have 200 rehab owners that are under my organization called APRA.
Wow.
So I really wanted to understand this so that I can maybe even talk to you so that you can do a webinar for the group. We are currently almost 300 rehab owners.
Wow.
And therefore, I really wanted them to do what is right. I've been a global master trainer with Colombo Plan.
Yeah.
And I'm really passionate about evidence-based practices. I really do that in my own setup, where I am the CEO and I have like 4 offices, 4 outpatient programs in different counties.
Amazing.
And I'm opening the 5th one in June.
Wow.
And everybody who comes to work for me, the first question is, do you know what is ICAP? Do you know what is ISAP? Do you know what you need to do? So I've really convinced people to do the ICAP, whether treatment, even recovery. I have a lot of people with me that work for me in recovery coaching now. So the reason why I had to be here, I really feel with a Kenyan setup that is quite fast. I think we were the first ISAP in Africa.
Yeah.
And we are the first to have an association of rehab owners. So that's why we are called APRA.
Fantastic. Susan, this is fantastic for us, because in actual fact, it's almost you are reading our minds, because this is great to meet with you today, because we actually, as part of this new series of Credentialing Conversations, we want to have, and we are planning a webinar for employers. So we would very much like to reach out to you to discuss what you think would be helpful for that webinar, particularly for rehabilitation owners, people who are running the services, the providers, in terms of how we can support you to have, obviously, the optimum workforce and capacity and people with the ICAP. So we'd be delighted to maybe have a follow-up call with you directly, to see exactly what would be helpful to include in that webinar, and then make sure we have it advertised in plenty of time, so you can maximize your particular membership to be able to attend that and to hear more and to guide us as to how we can support you more.
Awesome. I think I'm able to do that with my associates.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Okay, thank you. It's nice being here. I've learned a lot.
Lovely. Thank you so much. And great questions. And we look forward to having you back on the register with us. So thank you for that. So there may be some more questions, or is there something else in the chat? I know Ashley, Sungjoo, I'm sure you're monitoring the chat, whether there are more direct questions that we can take.
There haven't been any more direct questions in the chat.
Okay. So the mic is open. If anybody has any specific questions you might have around your own particular case, like Susan shared with us, that was really helpful. I'm sure by hearing her questions, that's helped you also. So don't be shy. If you think that we can give you some more specific detail that will help you navigate the new systems and processes, very happy. Or if you have any suggestions you have for us that you would like to hear, we're very keen to know how we can continue to improve the service for everyone. So if there are things that you think don't work particularly well, we're more than happy to hear that as well, so we can fix them and make sure that they are strengthened for everybody. So please feel free to critique, not just tell us what's good, but tell us what you think is not working so well as well. And we'll go away and try and figure out, can we improve on what we're offering. We also don't want to hold people hostage to the meeting, because we know everybody's very busy. So we'll give it another couple of minutes, and if people feel that we've given you hopefully some good information today that'll help you on your way to either becoming part of our ICAP community, which we really hope, if you're not already, that we've piqued your interest and you're interested in taking that next step to get credentialed. And if it would help you and you would want to have just a private conversation with us one-on-one, we're very accessible. Again, Ashley and Sungjoo, myself, very happy to have a one-on-one Zoom with anybody. If you're a little shy or you're not sure specifically for you whether what we're offering is exactly correct, so please do reach out individually after this if it would help. And if you are already, like Susan, been in the field for many, many, many years, a bit like myself, but have not registered or re-registered for some time, because we know that there has been a lot of change, particularly the move from Columba Plan to ICUDDR, then hopefully what you've heard today will really help you to get back in touch with us and hopefully and hopefully continue. So I've just seen David. David, thank you so much for that chat. So you're credentialed and you're there, which is great. I hope that you're there and you are active. If not, then do please let us know how we can support you to get you up to date and renewed. So you're good for another 3 years. And Jennifer, also, I love Kenya. Kenya, you guys are doing amazing work there, by the way. Just a shout out, as Susan said, Kenya's been one of the vanguards really around credentialing and the support. So thank you, Jennifer. Are coming with for teens? Maybe, Kenya, which program are coming with for teens? Maybe I'm not understanding that question, Jennifer. So if you're happy to open your mic and maybe put the question to us directly, or are you referring maybe to credentialing for adolescents? Maybe I'm just trying to understand the chat text. So maybe you can either update that text a little bit or open your mic, and we'll happily take your question directly. Yes, adolescents. So programs are coming with for, so are we, I'm not sure, are you asking us, are we looking at getting a credential specifically for those people working with adolescents? Because you're right, most of the credentials that we have at the moment tend to be for the adult, people working with the adult population, clinical population, whether that's in prevention, treatment, or recovery. Although the prevention, in fairness, does cover some adolescents, children and adolescents, in terms of school-based prevention and so forth. But it's a great question. At the moment, there isn't a credential, again, specifically for younger people, adolescents, children. It's something that certainly we would be happy to consider, and it certainly I can put it on the agenda for the Commission for us to start thinking about specific special populations, because we know that there are clearly many professionals who work in, with under 16s, under 18s, and certainly children. And sadly, unfortunately, addiction starts younger and younger these days. So it's something we could certainly consider. So thank you for that prompt. But at the moment, no, Jennifer is the answer, but we can certainly look at that. So Hilary from Ghana will want to chat personally, chatting with the person in charge. Yeah, Hilary, if you would like to reach out, happy for Ashley and Sungjoo to share. My email is the exact same as Ashley and Sunjoo's, obviously clancyc@ICUDDR.org. And I can probably type that in if that helps as well. But we all have a similar sort of email.
Sungjoo got it.
Oh, Sunjoo's got it. Okay, thank you, Sungjoo. Appreciate that. But certainly, please, reach out if you have a personal suggestion or critique or a suggestion or something about your own particular account that you would like us to be aware of, and hopefully we can take you through the processes. So I'm aware that we're coming up to 2 minutes. Verna, shall I hand back to you so we can just round off the first conversation, and thank you for those who joined us. We hope that it's been helpful. We've certainly enjoyed meeting with you, and we hope that this community will continue to grow. And we're very keen and interested also to think about how do we bring our credentialed individuals together on a more regular basis. So if you have suggestions on how we can support you more directly, please feel free to let us know. But Verna, I'll hand back to you to round us up and take us to the end.
Carmel, before we end, we have a poll that we'd like
to
put
we
up.
do. Thank you, Sungjoo. Please, yes, if you could do that, that would be great.
So Lovely. We'll be putting up a poll. This will have some topics or suggestions for the next webinar. If you're interested in any of them, we want to hear from you. So let me open the poll now. So if there are any topics here that interest you, or any other topics that you'd like to put in yourself, you can do so through the poll.
That's great. That's hopefully that poll is easy to follow, and feel free, multiple answers accepted, not just one, so you don't have to just choose one. And of course, as you can see, there's a suggestion box if you have some other ideas as well that you would like us to cover over the coming series. But Sungjoo, thank you for that poll, and Verna, over to you.
Thank you so much. So the poll is still open. So please let them know what you would like to, what are your interests are. And I'm pretty sure that you're in good hands. We'll try to schedule the next session based on your needs. So again, thank you everyone for attending. And remember that this will be the first among the series of other interactive sessions. So we hope that you'll be able to attend. And please follow our social media pages in LinkedIn, in Facebook, in X, as well as visit our website. So we will host a series. There would be webinars. We have monthly webinars, and we also have some applications for a call for regional coordinators. And again, if you have questions, so there is also a recording about credentialing that was conducted by Dr. Clancy in November of last year. If you have other questions, you might want to look at that, like if you want to check your eligibility, how to take the examinations. And again, if like what you're looking for is not there, don't hesitate to email us. Send us an email. So their email addresses are there. And if you have questions that's not necessarily for credentialing, you can send your email at info@icuddr.org. So again, so thank you everyone and have a great day. So we'll see you during the next session.
Thank
Goodbye,
you.
everybody.
Thank you so much, Verna. Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your day or evening, obviously, depending on where you are in the world. And thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Sungjoo.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, we'll